The Complete Works of Swami Vivekananda, Volume 3, Section 2, Chapter 5, Qualification of the Aspirant and the Teacher. How are we to know a teacher then? The sun requires no torch to make his visible. We need not light a candle in order to see him. When the sun rises, we instinctively become aware of the fact, and when a teacher of a man comes to the help us, the soul will instantly know that the truth has already begun to shine upon it. Truth stands on its own evidence. It does not require any other testimony to prove it true. It is self effulgent. It penetrates into the innermost corner of our nature, and it will in its presence, the whole universe stands up and say, "This is truth." The teacher whose wisdom and truth shines like a light of a sun are the very greatest the world has known, and they are worshipped as God by the major portion of mankind. But we may get help from comparative lesser ones also. Only we ourselves do not possess intuitions enough to judge properly of the man from whom we receive teachings and guidance. So there ought to be certain tests, certain conditions for teacher to satisfy, as there are also for the thought. The condition necessary for the thought are purity and real thirst after knowledge and preservations. No impure soul can be really religious. Purity in thought, speech, and act is absolutely necessary for anyone to be religious. As to the as to the thirst after knowledge, it is an old law that we all get whatever we want. None of us can get anything other than what we fix our hearts upon. To pant for real religious religion truly is a very difficult thing, not at all so easy as we generally imagine. Hearing religious talk or reading religious book is no proof yet of a real want felt in the heart. There must a continuous struggle, a constant fight, and an unremitting grasping or grappling with our lower nature till the higher want is actually felt and the victory is achieved. It is not a question of 1 or 2 days or a year or of lives. The struggle may have to go for hundreds of lifetimes. The success sometimes may come immediately, but we must be ready to wait patiently even for what may look like the infinite length of time. The student who sets out with such a spirit of perseverance will surely find the success and realization at last. In regard to the teacher, we must see that he knows the spirit of scriptures. The whole world reads Bibles, Vedas, and Puranas, but they are all only words, syntax, etymology, philosophy, the dry bones of religion. The teacher who deals too much in words and allow the mind to be carried away by the force of words lose the spirit. It is the knowledge of spirit of the spirituals al- alone that consists the true religious teacher. The next of the words of the spiritual or scriptures is like a huge forest in which the human mind often loses itself and finds no way out. The network of words is a big forest. It is the cause of curious wandering of the mind. The various method of joining words, the various method of speaking in beautiful languages, the various method of explaining the diction of scriptures are only for the disputation and enjoyment of the learned. They do not conduct to development of spiritual perception. Those who employ such methods to impact or impart religion to others are only desirous to show off their learning so that the world may praise them as great scholars. You will find that no one of the great teacher of the world ever went into this various explanation of the text. There is with them no attempt at text torturing. no eternal playing upon the meaning of the words and their roots. Yet they nobly thought, while others who have nothing to teach have taken up a word sometimes and written a 3 volume books on its original, on the man who used it first, and on what that man was accustomed to eat and how long he slept, and so on. Bhagwan Ramakrishna Bhagwan Ramakrishna used to tell a story of some men who went into the mango orchard and bushed themselves in counting the leaves, the twigs, and the branches, examining their color, comparing their sizes, and noting down everything most carefully, and then got up a learning discussion on each of these topics, which were undoubtedly highly interested to them. But one of them, more sensible than the others, did not care for all these things, and instead thereof began to eat the mango fruits. And he not wise? And was he not wise? So leave this counting of leaves and twigs and noting, talking of to others. This kind of work has its proper place, but not here in the spiritual domain. You never see a strong spiritual man among these leaf counters. Religion, the highest aim, the highest glory of man, does not require so much labor. If you want to be a bhakta, it is not at all necessary for you to know whether Krishna was born in Mathura or in Braja, what he was doing, or just the exact date on which he pronounced the teaching of Gita. You only require to feel the craving of the beautiful lessons of duty and love in the Gita. All the other particulars about it and its author are for the enjoyment of the learned. Let them have what they desire. Say Shantin. To their learned controversies and try us, eat the mangoes. The second condition necessary in the teacher is sinlessness. The question is often asked, why school we look into the character and personality of the teacher. We have only to judge of what he says and take that up. This is not right. If a man want to teach me something of dynamic or chemistry or any other physical science, he may be anything he like, because what the physical science requires merely an intellectual equipment. But in spiritual science, it is possible from first to last that there can be any spiritual light in the soul that is impure. What religion can an impure man teach? The sin quenon of acquiring spiritual truth for oneself or for imparting it to others is the purity of heart and soul. A vision of God and a glimpse of the beyond never comes until the soul is pure. Hence, with the teacher of religion, we must see first what he is and then what he says. He must be perfectly pure, and then alone comes the value of his word, because he is only then the true transmitter. What can he transmit if he has not spiritual power in himself? There must be the worthy vibration of spirituality in the mind of the teacher, so that it may be sympathetically conveyed to the mind of the thoughts. The function of the teacher is indeed an affair of the transference of something, and not one of mere stimulation of existing intellectual or other facilities in the thought. Something real, appreciable, has an influence, comes from the teacher and goes to the thought. Therefore, the teacher must be pure. The third condition is in regard to the motive. The teacher must not teach with an ulterior selfish motive for money, name, or fame. His work must be simply out of love, out of pure love for mankind as large. The only medium through which the spiritual force can be transmitted is love. Any selfish motive, such as the desire for gain or for name, will immediately destroy this conveying medium. God is love, and only he who has known God as love can be a teacher of godliness and God of men. When you see that in your teacher these conditions are all fulfilled, you are safe. If there are not, it is unsafe to allow yourself to be taught by him. For there is a great danger that if he cannot convey goodness to your heart, he may convey wickedness. This danger must by all the means be guarded against. He who is learnt in the scripture, sinless, unpolluted by lust, and is the greatest knower of Brahman, is a real teacher. From what has been said, it naturally follows that we cannot be taught to love, appreciate, and assimilate religion everywhere or and by everybody. The book in the running bronc Sherman's in stones, and good in everything is all very true has poetical figure, but nothing can impart to the gem to a man a single grain of truth unless he has the undeveloped gem of it in himself. To whom do the stones and brooks preach sermon? To the human soul. The lotus of whole inner holy shrink is already quick with life, and the light which causes the beautiful opening out of the lotus comes always from the good and a wise teacher. When the heart has thus been opened, it becomes fit to receive teaching from the stones or the brooks, the stars, the sun, or the moon, and from anything which has its existence in our divine universe. But the unopened heart will see it in them nothing but mere stones or mere brooks. A blind man may go to the museum, but he will not profit by it in any way. His eyes must be opened first, and then alone he will be able to learn what the things in the museum can teach. This eye opener of the aspirant after religion is the teacher. With the teacher, therefore, our relationship is the same as that between an ancestor and his descendant. Without faith, humility, submission, veneration in our heart towards our religious teacher, there cannot be any growth of religion in us, and it is a significant fact that where the kind of relation between the teacher and the thought revealed, there only gigantic spiritual men are growing, while in those countries which have neglected to keep up this kind of relation, the religious teacher has become a mere lecturer. The teacher expecting his $5 and a person thought expecting his brain to be filled with the teacher's words, and each going his own way. After this much has been done under such circumstances, spirituality comes almost an unknowing quality. There is none to transmit it and none to have it transmitted to religion. With such people becomes business. They think they can obtain it with their dollar. Would to God that religion could be obtained so easily, but unfortunately it cannot be. Religion, which is the highest knowledge and the highest wisdom, cannot be bound, or nor can it be acquired from books. You may thrust your head into all corners of the world. You may explore the Himalayas, the Alps, the Caucasus. You may sound the bottom of the sea and pry into every nook of Tibet and the desert of Gobi. You will not find it anywhere until your heart is ready for receiving it and your teacher has come. And when that divinely appointed teacher comes, serve him with childlike confidence and simplicity. Freely open your heart to his influence and see in him God manifested. Those who come to seek the truth with such a spirit of love and veneration, to them the Lord of truth reveals the most wonderful things regarding truth, goodness, and beauty.